Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me today. Today we are going to go over how to clean large ethical hamster enclosures and why they're actually easier to clean than the smaller plastic barred cages that you would see at big pet stores like Petco and PetSmart. To start, you will have to find where your hamster chooses to make their bathroom. A fun fact about hamsters is most hamsters, if you give them adequate space and bedding depth, then they will end up choosing a section or under a specific hide or in a multi-chamber hide, and that will be their bathroom. Of course, this would be impossible in one of those smaller plastic cages since there's just not enough room. It would be impossible to give them enough bedding in there. But when you provide them with a big enough enclosure and enough bedding, they actually kind of potty train themselves. In this video, I'm showing you me cleaning my hamster Tink's cage. And this is a very realistic clean. So things don't go perfectly. I do actually have to look around a bit to try to find where she made her bathroom. So I end up looking in like 3 different places before I find it, but that might happen. One thing to keep in mind though is do your best to try to not destroy as many burrows as possible. Just because your hamster does take a lot of time and effort to create burrows, and that's how they make their enclosure their home. So do your best to not disturb as much as you can, but of course in cleaning you will probably have to destroy some just to fully clean the area. So when we're talking about cleaning your hamster's enclosure, we're primarily talking about their urine. Their urine is what's going to make your hamster's cage smell bad, and it's also going to be what could cause health problems for your hamster if they are sitting in their urine or, it's just not kept clean. While cleaning, you will most likely find their food storage. So this will look like a mix of seeds, and then there might be some poop in there. So like I said before, the main thing that we're cleaning is the urine. Of course, if you see a big pile of their little dried pellet poops, feel free to remove them. But if a few pieces are mixed in with their food, not a big deal. You can completely leave those alone. They're not going to stink up your enclosure or hurt your hamster by leaving them. I always use white bedding. My primary purpose for this is because it's a lot easier to find the urine-soaked bedding because it will be yellow or like a brownish color instead of white. So it makes it a lot easier. But another way to help you find their bathroom spot is while you're kind of digging around, use your nose. Honestly, usually when you finally find that spot that is where they use their bathroom, as soon as you move some bedding, it will kind of hit you a little bit and you'll be like, okay, that is the spot. I've received some questions before about why not remove all the bedding and then sanitize it and then put all fresh bedding. The main reason for this is that a hamster's scent is very important to them. That is what helps them know that they are in a safe place. This is their home. It smells like them. It smells like all of their things. If you remove all the bedding and sanitize it and just put fresh bedding, every single time you clean it, that is going to restart your hamster. They have a brand new home. They have to redo everything. And these little guys put in a lot of work to make their enclosure their home. So it's very important, unless there is a vet tells you to remove all the bedding and sanitize for an illness or a bug related issue, please don't do that. You're only going to stress your hamster out. I would try to leave as much bedding as possible and just take out the urine-soaked bedding and like piles of poop and things and refresh those with fresh bedding. But the primary bedding is still just going to be in the enclosure. So that actually saves a lot of money in the long run because at first, with a big enclosure, sure, you're going to have to buy 4 or 5 bags of bedding, and that can be like $100+. But in the lifespan of your hamster, as long as there's no illness, you're really only going to need like maybe 2 more bags for their entire life. So in the long run, it's actually saving you a bit more money than those little plastic cages that you have to clean. I swear, when I was little and I had them, I had to clean mine at least once a week or my entire room smelled like hamster pee. So do yourself a favor and your hamster and please give them an ethical cage. So of course, every hamster is different, and there are some hamsters that actually prefer to pee in different areas. Some hamsters prefer to pee on their wheel. So while they're running, they pee. So that's kind of easy because you just take out their wheel about once a day or once every other day, give it a good wash with some soap and water, dry it, put it back, and that's all you have to do. Another common hamster behavior is peeing in their sandbox. So all hamsters need a sandbox. I will repeat that. All hamsters need a sandbox. Please, if you don't have one, go get a sandbox. This is their version of bathing themselves. So you would never put a hamster in water. Instead, they bathe themselves using sand. So they'll roll around in sand and it will take those extra oils out of their coat and helps keep their coat fresh and clean. Of course, make sure that you are using a hamster safe sand. There are many that you can purchase that are marketed for hamsters. Even easier than that, you can actually use like sandbox sand. It's called play sand that you can buy from like a big store like Lowe's or Home Depot. There is a way to prepare it though, so make sure you do your research on how to bake it correctly, shift it correctly. I do have a video on my Instagram if you'd like to watch that to learn as well. So yeah, sand is another option for your hamster. May use that as their bathroom, and that is a very easy way to clean as well, because then you just have a mini litter box. Just like you would clean your cat litter box, you'll just shift your your hamster litter box. A little fun side note, you may have noticed if you've been watching the video that I have been collecting these little little wooden mushrooms throughout the video. That is a forage toy. You sprinkle in some food or treats in the little holes and then you put the mushrooms in. This toy is from Happy Hamstery and I 100% recommend this toy. It's so cute to see your hamster take the little mushrooms out. Tink has decided to put it upon herself to take them all out and hide them everywhere. So for the longest time, I have had the wooden stump with no mushrooms in it because I couldn't find any. So at the end of this video, we finally found almost all of them. There is still one missing mushroom, but we're just gonna have to live with that. We made it to the end, guys. So here's the finished enclosure. I added a few new sprays, sprinkled some new food, and I also added a few treats for her to find too. So let's see what Tink thinks of it. Many of the items shown in this video are from Happy Hamstery. Use code TANA5 for $5 off your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!